Hello, fellow simmers, welcome back. And I want to start today by thanking everybody that supports me on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. It means so much to me, and I'm so grateful to have your support. I absolutely love what I do, and I'm so glad that all you guys do too. So, to celebrate my 200 subs on YouTube, I decided to do a shell challenge for you, and I'm so excited about this one. I had an idea in my head, which strangely enough, I actually dreamt up. Like, literally, I was sleeping and I dreamt of this house, or at least a part of it. And the very next morning, I thought, nope, I need to build this house. And what you can see going on here is the part of my dream that inspired this entire build. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you will know that I love platforms and I love to use them to create stairs. And I'm wondering if you can guess what I'm doing right now. I'm sure some of you can. It was a bit of a struggle to get it to work out, but I got there in the end, and I'm so glad I persevered with it because the way that it's turned out, I think, is really good. And the best part is, it is play tested and it is functional. So, yeah, this is going to be the basis of the shell challenge that I'm setting, which is to download this shell from the gallery, and you need to basically finish it off, deck it out. There are a few rules that we will go through in just a minute, but I just want to talk a little bit more about what's going on here. So, if you haven't guessed yet, it is actually my version of a spiral staircase. So, in order to do this, like I said, it was a bit of a challenge. I actually had to create a basement and raise it up in order to get the stairs to line up the way that I wanted it. I don't know. I probably could have done it if I hadn't have done the basement level, but I think I wanted it to be split level at the same time. So for that to happen, I had to use the basement. Um, yeah, so anyway, let's jump into some of the rules. And don't worry if you can't remember all of these rules just from this video. I will put them up on my Facebook and Instagram pages so you can reference it from there. Okay, so you can change and add doors and windows, so you don't have to stick with the original ones that I have put in this build. You can change them, you can move them. That's all perfectly fine. You can change the fence styles. However, you cannot remove any fencing. So where there's fencing, that has to stay, but you can change which fence. Same with the gates. The gates have to stay, but you can change which gates. You can use packs, except the ones that I will list shortly. There's just some that I don't have yet, and if you want me to be able to download your beautiful creations into my game and tour them, then you obviously can't use some of the packs. So please place this on a 50 by 50 lot. That way you can really focus on the shell itself and you won't have to worry about excess landscaping. In terms of the don'ts, there's not too many. I guess the major one is you really can't change any of the walls or the platforms. The only platform you can change is the one that is in the center of the spiral stairs. So that one you can play around with, but the rest of the platforms need to stay as they are. And this is mostly because if you move them around, it's going to alter the build altogether. So no changing walls or platforms. They have to stay as they are. You can not remove any fencing, as we said before. You can change the style, but you can't remove it. The wall height is set to medium on both levels, so it needs to stay medium. You cannot change the wall height. I don't use CC, so therefore, once again, if you want me to view or tour your builds, you cannot use CC. And obviously, the packs that you cannot use are Star Wars, fitness stuff, kids' room stuff, my first pet stuff. You cannot use spooky stuff, bowling stuff, movie hangout, and no kit packs. Like I said, don't worry if you're freaking out that you can't remember all of this. It will be in the description below and also on my socials. So I will announce the top 3 based on which I find the most eye-catching. So pay attention to detail, guys. That's what I want to see out of this build. It's got such potential, and I really, really want to see detail. The top 3 builds that I choose will be toured and featured on a short video on my YouTube channel, and also will be featured across my socials. So as you can see, it is quite a large build. It's probably going to take a little bit of time, but that's okay because you'll have plenty of it. I can promise you that. But I am so excited to see what you guys choose to do with this shell. Obviously, when I build a shell, I have a certain idea in my head on what I want to do, how I would envisage it, but other people think differently. So I might sit here and look at this house and say, oh, I think this would be a great family house. Other people might go, oh no, this would be great for a celebrity, or you know, it could be a good day spa or a restaurant, or I might turn it into something else. And I love that about shell challenges. I love to see how one thing can be made into so many different things. And I always learn a lot from shell challenges because there are plenty of people out there who are far better builders than me, and I always get ideas from them. So I am very, very excited to see what you will come up with. There is some landscaping, as you can see. You can either keep it or not. That's entirely up to you. I have to put it down when I'm building because it helps me progress the build. So yeah, entirely up to you whether you want to follow what I've put down or come up with your own. It's, yeah, your choice. So of course you will need to download this shell from the gallery. And interesting story. Did you know that you can actually change your username or your ID on the gallery? I did not know this, and I'd been wanting to change it for ages, but I was too worried that I would lose all of my builds and all of my work. So I never did, but I stumbled across a creator who I've been following and realized that they'd changed their name, and it kind of freaked me out for a bit because I didn't know what was going on. I was looking up this name, but then another name was coming up, and yeah, after some stalking, I realized that they'd actually changed their username. So once I knew it was possible, I made it my mission to work out how, and I eventually worked it out. So when you come to download this one from the gallery, I was formerly DeeK 18, and I am not that anymore. I am now DeeK Sims, the same as all my other socials. So I've tried to line it up and make it a bit easier instead of having the 2 different ones. So yes, download this one from DeeK Sims on the gallery, and it will be called the 200 sub SC on the screen now, and it will have the hashtag 200 sub shell challenge. So make sure that when you upload this to the gallery that you use the correct hashtag. I would hate to miss any of your builds because I think you're all going to come up with some really fantastic stuff. So make sure you use the hashtag, and same goes for on your socials. If you put any photos up on Instagram or Facebook, because let's face it, the gallery often doesn't do our builds justice, make sure you put in the correct hashtag so that I don't miss it. All right. I'll put those both up on the screen again now. You will notice that this build has a lot of different areas, and I purposely designed it that way. I like builds that have little hidden gems, I guess. So, yes, I did put a sauna in here, tucked in away. It is up to you if you want to keep it or not. You know, you can take the sauna out and make it into a different room. Obviously, you just can't change the shape of the room. But yeah, I like to add in little bits to, I don't know, enhance the build, I guess. Sometimes when you build a lot, you kind of run out of ideas, or you find you use the same ideas all the time, and sometimes you lose your mojo. You just feel like you're losing your creative touch, I guess. So yeah, that's one way I try to keep my builds fresh and different, is by adding, lots of different areas and like little hidey holes. But what about you? What do you add into your builds? Leave me a comment below, because I would love to know what you guys do to keep your builds fresh. What are the sort of things that you do to make them stand out from others, so that you don't feel like you're just creating the same build all the time? I would love to hear what you have to say on this, so drop it below in the comments. As you can see, I'm just working on a little bridge here. Another thing I like to do, add bridges in, especially over pools and stuff. I think it just makes it feel a little bit more glamorous, and that's, this build is quite large and fancy, so I felt like a bridge was a perfect addition, I guess. I hope as you are watching this shell come together that it's giving you some ideas or some inspiration on what you're going to do with this shell. The opportunities are endless. So yeah, I hope that seeing the process is helping you, work it all out in your head. Like I was saying earlier, for me, when I build, I have to add in certain elements so that I can, see where the build's going, like the landscaping, for example. So I don't know if that's just me or if other people are like that. But when I take on other people's shells, I sit there for so long trying to just work it out in my head, because I haven't gone through the process of building it. So I don't really know what to do with it. It takes me a long time to get an idea to come to me when I attack a shell like that. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. Let me know in the comments below. Some people prefer just the information given to them, like in a photo on Instagram or Facebook with just instructions, and others like to see the shell being built and then go ahead and try to create something with it. So let me know what do you prefer? Is this helpful, seeing it with the build? Drop it in the comments below. I'm working on a skylight here. I struggled with it, as you can probably see. It just wasn't lining up how I envisioned it would, and yeah, it took a little bit of maneuvering, but I got there in the end, and I'm happy with how it turned out. I've added in doors and windows, but like I said, you can change those. I had a bit of an issue here. The door was, because of the platform, was pushing through the roof up the top, but I didn't want to change anything. I wanted it the way it was, so I ended up putting a half wall across here, and you can work out what you're going to do with it. Just to keep it challenging, just chuck in a random half wall. Why not? I don't know, I find sometimes the shells that have obscure things become the ones that I find the most fun, because you really do have to think about what you're doing and get creative. Yes, again with the platform stairs, sorry not sorry. Can't help myself. I love them, they're so cool. But there's a little area down there which, hopefully you've got some ideas for. But we are getting very close to the end of this build. A lot of what I'm doing now is just final touches. And yeah, I suppose we should quickly recap the rules and I'll give you a deadline for this. Okay, so just remember you can change and add doors and windows. That's perfectly fine. You can change the fence style, but you cannot remove the fencing. You can use the packs, except for the ones that I listed earlier, and you can place this on a 50 by 50 lot. You cannot change any of the walls or platforms except for that little platform in the center of the spiral stairs. You cannot change the wall height, it must stay medium, and no CC if you'd like me to be able to view or see or download your builds. The due date for this one is going to be the 15th of December, so you'll have quite a while to be able to work on it. And yeah, don't forget that I will be choosing my top 3 favorites based on which ones I find the most eye-catching. So really try and get creative. So enjoy yourself, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe, and also click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. You can also check me out on my socials.